very much. Kathy, is things still locked in your basement? Just checking. Does anyone here have a mom? Nobody has a mom? 3 people have a mom. You know, I think when we grow up, the best time of our lives is when we're young, right? We always look back at that time and we say, remember the good old days? Well, my good old days were pretty much me and my mom with her kicking my ass all the time. I was always getting in trouble. Now, you just heard my name, but my name, when you first see it, confuses a lot of people because it's not a normal name. Growing up, I was named Bearj. I named myself Bearj. My parents called me Bearj. That's what my dad's name was, and that's what my mom called me all the time, Bearj. I didn't like the way that sounded, so I introduced myself to people as Bearj. And over time, that's what everyone began to call me. Well, along the way, my mom also was very, very intense about having a good job. It was very important to her that I had a good job. In fact, if I had a job, she also had the newspaper out looking for the next good job that I could have. Drove me crazy until I was finally about 24, 25 years old when I got a job as a high school band director. I thought that would calm her down a little bit. It didn't. She still looked for jobs for me. Until this one weekend when I took my high school band to Virginia Beach. Me and 100 kids on a school bus drove to Virginia Beach. We were there for 5 days and 4 nights. But the most amazing thing happened. The kids were incredible. They performed better than I had ever heard them perform the entire year. So we won the Grand Championship award for the whole event. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Well, on the way home, I didn't know it, but the kids' parents had planned for us to be met at Rose Tree Park with fire engines, and police cars, and sirens, and they had all the parents there with banners and signs. It was the coolest thing. We didn't know what was happening. We were on the bus, and all of a sudden we heard police cars and sirens, and we didn't know what was happening until we realized that we saw the parents on the side of the road. Well, we had this slow police escort all the way back to the high school. And when we got there, little by little, everyone was getting off the buses. I gave my final instructions to all my students. And as I got off the bus, I heard someone call out to me, "Bearj, Bearj." I didn't realize they called my mother and my father. And they were there too. And it was really cool. I went over to my parents, and my mother's, as I'm walking over, she's calling, "Bearj, Bearj," because it's dark out. She wanted me to find where she was. Well, my mother, as you can probably understand, was somewhat stoic at times. And as I'm approaching her, this slightly, well, more than slightly overbearing parent walked over to my mother and she said, "It's Bear." Well, my mother looked back at her and she said, "I think I know how to say his name. I'm his mother." Sadly, about 8 years ago, my mother passed away. But her memory lives on. Somehow, I don't know how this happened, but about a year ago, I was at a large event with about 150 people. I was running the event, and the speaker was up on the stage, and it happened to be my birthday. And this speaker had never addressed me before. He'd heard my name, but he didn't know how to pronounce it. So like most people, the first time they see my name and have to say it, he was struggling. But he was on the stage because they asked him to wish me a happy birthday, and they were bringing a cake out. So he's put in this position of pronouncing my name for the first time under pressure with 150 people listening. So he pronounced my name Bearj the way my mother always did. And just when he did that, there was a woman in the front row who leaned forward and said, "It's Bearj." And at that moment, it took me all the way back to that moment when I got off the bus, when my mom was there greeting me, and realized that this kid of mine has a great job. He's made it. He's fine. It was the sweetest moment of my life.
Bearj, everybody.